Hello people, hello people, hello people. It's that time again. My name is Danny Graham. Welcome to my show. In case you didn't know, before we get started with tonight's show, I just want to do two things for you. I'll tell you to do two things. Please subscribe to my channel and please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified on any and all my upcoming videos. Tonight I'm really excited about, I just came from Shazam, and before you go any further, this is going to be a full spoiler. A full spoiler. If you don't want to know what's going on, you want to see it for yourself firsthand, stop the video right now because I'm going to tell everything. First thing I'm going to tell you is that I was pleasantly surprised. I was wrong. I thought Shazam was going to be goofy. I wasn't excited to see it. I went into it with a little bit more optimism because I heard the good reviews. I saw the YouTubers and listened to their channels. In particular, Tyrone Magnus is one who I follow. He spoke very highly of it. Again, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm first to say I was wrong. I thought the movie was awesome. It did a backstory and a little back history on the main villain, Dr. Sivana, played by Mark Strong. It showed how he first was introduced into the magic of Shazam. Then it shows how Shazam go about picking people who that he thinks worthy, because there were 7 wizards and he was the last of 7 wizards, and he was getting older and weaker, and he was trying to find a champion. He cast this spell that went out and searched different people, and it searched probably over 50 people until actually Dr. Sivana, the bad guy, was able to finally figure out how to get back to the Rock of Ages, to the place where Shazam was at, the wizard Shazam was at. He was able to unleash the 7 deadly sins, which they empowered him. I think it was like envy, greed, envy, greed. I don't know what they were, but there were 7. There were 7 of them. Can't think off the top of my head, but whenever they were in a little ball, a magical ball inside this cage. But when he grabbed the ball, they were released out of that ball, or they call it the eye. And they would infuse into the eye. He put the eye into his head, and he had all their powers. He had the powers of Shazam, basically, but except he wasn't as strong as Shazam was, because he still wanted Shazam's power. But anyway, fast forward into Billy Batson. He was at a fair with his mother, who was a young mother. He got separated. She didn't go back and get him. You don't find out later that she intentionally left him there until later on in the movie, because his main goal in the movie is to try and track down and find his mother. He goes to several different group homes, several different foster homes, runs away, but his main mission is to try to find his mother. With the help of the foster kids there, who are extremely smart. There's like a Chinese guy, little black girl, white female, Hispanic male, and Freddie, who is he is crippled. He walks with a cane. They all kind of band together, and they figure out that first Freddie figures out because Billy tells him that he's Shazam after he's granted the power from the wizard. But then the little girl, the little black girl, you'll know who she is. She steals the show. She figures out, or they let her know that he's Shazam, but they swear her to secrecy, which she keeps a secret until the other kids finally figure it out. Once they figure it out, they help Billy find his real mother, who's only about 2 blocks from where they're living. So he goes to her, tries to reconnect, but she's like a POS, piece of shit. She kind of tells him that she was too young and things just wasn't going her way, and she just meant to left him, and that she's going through a hard time now. She seems to be in an abusive relationship. We never see the guy. I think we know his name is Travis, and he's yelling through the door for her to come in and ask what's going on. But basically, she's a piece of shit. So he finally realizes that his family, the other kids, and the lady and the foster mother and the foster dad, are truly his family, and they care about him. And then he goes back. But before getting there, Dr. Sivana, the actual bad guy, figures out that Billy is Shazam, because they go to a fight, and then before he's about to kill Shazam, in the first fight. And when he turns his head, Billy says Shazam. He turns to the little boy, but Dr. Sivana doesn't see who he is. Then he figures out because he sees a video of Freddy talking to Shazam, and he kind of puts two and two together. And then he calls Shazam out because secretly he wants Shazam power, because Shazam is the champion. So if he gets the champion's power, it would double his power. So he tries to get the staff of Shazam, the wizard, and make Shazam say his name. And when he says his name, he would transfer his power into the wizard. I mean, he would transfer the wizard's power into him doubling his power. So just when he's about to make Billy do it, because he splits up the evil spirits and they capture all of Billy's foster brothers and sisters, and just before he's about to make Billy say his name and transfer his power, Billy figures out that if he takes the staff and he says the name of the other kids, they'll have his power too. So he knocks Sivana over. He grabs the power staff of the wizard, and he tells the kids to say his name. They say Billy. He said, no, say my name that makes me turn to this person. So when they all say Shazam, each one was given the power of Shazam. They got different colored suits. Of course, if you remember the cartoons, Mary and Freddy was part of the Marvel family. So Freddy became Shazam. He had a blue uniform. Mary had a red uniform similar to Shazam. The little black girl, she has a purple uniform. The Mexican guy, he has a gray uniform. And the Japanese guy, a little smart guy, he has a green uniform. I think it's vice versa. He has a gray uniform. The heavy-set Hispanic kid has a green uniform. They each have the power of Shazam. Well, they split off and they fight each individual spirit. All this happens at a fair. Billy and Dr. Sivana, however you pronounce the name, Sivana, they fly off and they fight and they do their own little thing. And then finally, Shazam, Billy, is able to trick the last spirit, because there's 7 different spirits and each spirit branches off to fight the other ones. So there's only one left. And so Shazam was able to trick that spirit out of Dr. Sivana's body. When all 7 spirits leave the body, then he's a regular mortal again. So when he did that, Billy was able to get Dr. Sivana, fly back to the fair where the rest of the Shazams were at. He pulled his eye out, and then trapped the 7 spirits back into the ball. They went back to the cave, or to the Rock of Ages, where the wizard first gave Shazam his power, and they put the ball back into the little cage, and it then trapped all of the spirits in stone again, like they were at the original part of the movie. Now, for those of you who don't remember, or whoever followed the cartoon, there was a little worm. His name was Mr. Mastermind, or Mr. somebody. Mr. Mastermind, I think it was. I'm not sure. I think that was his name. But he was a little worm on TV. He had glasses, and he had a little box where his voice would come out of. Well, when they first start the movie, they show him in a cage, like a glass cage. But then during the initial fight, when Dr. Sivana comes back and tries to get the power from the wizard Shazam, the cage is broken, and we see that it's broken. Well, if you watch the first end scene credit, that worm comes to this jail cell where Dr. Sivana at, and he's just writing on the walls all this different writing and stuff, and trying to figure out how to regain the magic. And he starts hearing his voice. So the voice is that little worm with a little voice box. I think it's Mr. Mastermind, if I'm not mistaken. And he's saying how he can help him get more magic. And that's how it goes off. You can stay for the second end credit scene, but it's really kind of like a little poke towards Aquaman. It's really not worth it unless you just want to sit there and see it. I would definitely stay for the first one, because it's like it's setting it up for a Shazam 2, and it looks like the bad guy might be that worm, Mr. Mastermind. I'm almost certain that's what his name is. Didn't have any indications of Black Adam. I was a little disappointed on that. But a very cool scene was there's two bullies in this movie, and they're always messing with the kids. They got this special truck they drive, and one part they hit the Freddy and knocked him out with the truck. If you remember that clip, Billy is beating them both with Freddy's cane, and then he runs from him, and then he goes into the train, and the train takes him to the cave. That's that one part. But the second part of that is they said they was going to beat Freddy up because Freddy made a claim that he was best friends with Shazam. Well, at that particular time in the movie, they was calling him the Red Cyclone. They said, well, if you don't have the Red Cyclone, don't show up here for lunch, then we're going to beat you up again. Well, the first initial time, Shazam didn't show up. But after they beat the bad people, learned a lesson, became a family, he showed up for lunch, and he brings him another Cape friend of his with a big S on his chest. Of course, they don't show his face, but they show his body pretty much from the chest down. And that's how it goes off, and Freddy's like amazed that Superman's there. So all in all, it was a pretty good movie. It was very funny in parts, kind of goofy, but not too goofy that you're like, ugh. But I'm telling you, I was wrong. I was pleasantly surprised. I think DC hit another home run. Aquaman was a pleasant surprise. This too was also a pleasant surprise. So I think it's still going to hurt itself because it was so close to Endgame. Because I think Endgame is going to be a beast that's just going to destroy all kind of records. So Shazam has about 2.5 weeks to make its money, because on the 26th of this month, if I'm not mistaken, when Endgame comes out, it's going to be toast. But again, I was pleasantly surprised. Shazam is worth seeing. Please go see it. Please go watch it. You will enjoy it. I guarantee you. Until next time, please continue. Please subscribe. Please leave positive comments. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.